join a local beekeepers association. I can't stress this enough, because you've got up to 150 to 300 beekeepers, hundreds of years of accumulated wisdom, and all these guys want nothing more than to talk to you and tell them about what their experiences are. Beekeeping is with everything else. You're going to talk to 10 people and you're going to get 12 opinions. Not a problem. Don't worry about it if the questions and the answers are different, because people's experience is different. What works for me may not work for you, but you're going to find that a lot of the processes we talk about, a lot of the experiences we talk about, you're going to be able to combine them and come up with your own plan of what's going to work for you. A lot of information on the internet as well, but talking to someone hands-on is by far the best way. I do recommend watching YouTube videos and other educational videos. If I had to recommend one, I would say University of Guelph is an excellent resource. Do be careful when you are looking at YouTube videos at where they are coming from. For example, I had someone last year called me up in January and said, I don't understand. I opened my hive and all the bees are now dead. They started flying and I just said, well, why? Well, because I was looking at a website and the beekeeper said, I'm going in to check my hive now, and started pulling frames out. I said, okay, who was this? What site was this? Well, it's a beekeeper in Georgia. Okay, number one, Georgia is different than Ontario. So look at the source. Find out if it's local, if it's not local. Principles will be the same, but the actual way of doing things will differ. Our winters are a little colder and a little longer and a little whiter, as you may have experienced in the last week or so. So join the local Beekeepers Association. There's lots of them around. You'll find them on the internet, the websites. I can't recommend that strongly. Take a workshop. Workshops are great for a number of reasons. One, this is interactive, but it's not a hands-on workshop. So my goal today is simply to familiarize you with what happens in this wonderful world of beekeeping, what all the stuff that we're working with is, how it looks, how it goes together. I would always recommend to people, if you're going to start with bees, you want to start small. You don't want to go out and spend several $1,000s getting 20 hives. Start small and learn it incrementally. I always recommend at least 2 hives. One is because with so many other things, you're going to be able to take from a strong and put to a weak and create two strong hives. It's always best to have a backup plan and an insurance policy. I figure in 2 hives will certainly do that. It is a little expensive. There's nothing wrong with starting with 1 hive as well. It's just that with 2 you have a little more opportunity to take and to share and to create strong hives. Make a plan. What do you want out of this? What is it you want to get into beekeeping for? If you know somebody who has bees, if you've just been interested for a long time, if with COVID you've got a lot of time on your hands, you're retiring, whatever. Know what your plan is going to be. Do you want to keep it at 1 hive, 2 hives, 10 hives? Do you want to go commercial with 50? What time or frame are you looking at? But make a plan as to what you want to do. Part of that plan can be coming down and seeing us at any time. We're more than happy to walk you through the equipment, talk to you about what the needs and the requirements are. Use us as a resource. Feel free to phone us and ask to talk to a beekeeper. Consider your equipment as well. We're going to go through some of the equipment, and with everything in life, you've got options to every single thing you look at and talk to. We're going to look at some of the options when you build a beehive. You want to research local bylaws. One of the most common one is, where can I place a hive? Currently, legislation says within 30 meters of the next property line or habitable dwelling. That is under review right now for change, but you do want to know what's happening in your area. You want to talk to your neighbors as well. There's bees everywhere right now, but you want to let your neighbors know if you're planning to put bees there, just because it's a bit of a shock when they suddenly find that you've got 80,000 bees flying around in your yard. And you want to register your hives. This is a legal requirement. You are required to register your hive. It's not a judicial thing at all, but it simply enables the ministry to know what's happening in an area, in a specific area, to let you know if there's problems happening, if there's diseases, to educate you as well. There is no cost involved to it as well. It's a service more than anything else. You want to look into and you want to investigate allergies. So, do you know if you're allergic? Have you ever been stung? Have you not been stung? You want to be able to investigate whether you're allergic or whether you have any reaction or not. Most people have been stung at least once in your life. So we want to look into that. One of the things I always recommend is, until you find out what your reaction is, an EpiPen is not a bad idea. They're good for about a year. They are expensive, but it is a nice thing to have on hand should you or anybody in your yard happen to get stung. One of the problems you need to look into is whether you go into an anaphylactic shock or what's going to happen. This will help stabilize you until you can get to a hospital, should there be an issue. We are going to show you what happens when you do get stung. We're going to look at stains, because probably one of the first questions people ask me is, will I get stung? So I'm going to tell you right now, yes. Hands-on learning. Okay? You do want to be able to get your hands on and to see and feel and touch. It's one thing to look at videos, another thing to listen to me talk. And it's a totally different thing to be able to look into a hive, to handle something, to touch and to feel. So my recommendation again is to take workshops. Okay? This is an introduction. It's a basic workshop. This is simply to help you decide whether you want to go any further, whether you want to look into this wonderful world of bees. Keep notes. Notes are great for figuring out what you did right, what you did wrong, what you should do next time. I don't know if you're like me and my memory is shot. It also helps you to keep on track. But above all, if nothing else, have fun. Okay? So let's look at